So on paper, Ryu has received a lot of buffs, and the time that I've been playing him, I've been kind of testing all those different changes in him. You know, the main question that a lot of people ask me is that, do I feel like Ryu has changed, you know, a lot dramatically? Am I winning more with Ryu? Ryu has kind of always been the underdog. I feel like Ryu has always been the character that fell behind the meta. I'm gonna show you some screenshots about what I've been seeing on my YouTube channel. It's a wild shift in the way that people look at Ryu, because I used to never get these comments about Ryu, and then all of a sudden I start getting all the comments. Ryu is literally so brain dead in this patch. And I used to never get these comments, by the way. It would be like, yo, oh my god, dude, that was so clutch, or damn, you know, good awareness and stuff like that. But I'm starting to get comments like, Ryu is so brain dead, you know, what the hell, right? What the hell is going on? That's why my friend hates me, even though if they win in the end, as long as I use Ryu, he will still be pissed. Playing against friends has changed, you know what I'm saying? So hard my ass. Dude is playing the most broken and ultra S tier character in the game. Even a child can do the most damaging combo with him, and all of his moves are entirely safe except for his DP and Tatsu. Basically ruined the game now. Kind of want you to think about this. So combos have always been pretty easy to do, especially in 5 and 6. I think Capcom just went on the lenient route of combos and just made it really accessible for a lot of people to do, you know. And I'm not gonna say that Ryu has a very complex combo structure, but I think when someone reads the buffs and they see how much damage that Ryu has always really been doing. I mean, we all knew that Ryu was a powerhouse to begin with. Even back in season 1 and 2, his damage output has always been crazy, especially on punish counter combos and jump in combos. It's always been wild. Now that we're seeing a lot more Ryu players, and then the community is talking about all these Ryu buffs and how he's kind of like too buffed, and people have these opinions on it, the community is shifting, right? Someone said, I feel he is pretty much the same. Yeah, you are doing better on the projectile wars, but I don't know, I feel he is being overhyped. Yeah, he is better than Ken now, but Ken also got super nerfed, so I guess we finally found a middle ground there. Akuma is still the best Shoto in my opinion. When people saw that Ryu had his fireballs buffed, like it does what, 100 more damage, right? You know, was that a big change in it? You know, are Ryu players more incentivized to use the fireball? I don't think so, in my opinion. I thought the overall effect of the fireball buff would compound into something bigger and greater, but you know, as my time playing and trying different playstyles from passive aggressive to playing more up close and personal, there isn't really much of a difference. Denjin Fireball, I think that's a different buff altogether. I mean, we know that this thing got buffed like crazy. The Denjin OD Fireball is even way better. But it's not just about the utility of using this at neutral. I think just the fact that, one, it's buffed and you can use it for your Denjin super off of a freaking OD Tatsu at mid-screen, I think that's crazy. And the fact that you could beat most people in the fireball war if you are able to react to them, you know, throwing a fireball and hitting them on a startup. Let's say that JP is snapping his fingers, or Jamie is drinking, and then it's much more of a threat, and it kind of changes the dynamic of the whole fight itself. His forward hard kick is one of the buffs that he received as well too. Pretty much is that players can't really walk out of it as much as they did before. Before it was kind of, if you misspaced it, you could whiff punish it pretty well. His defense is kind of the same. It remains the same. Nothing's really changed. He still has ODDP and all, wake up, crouch, and medium kick in the corner, stuff like that. So that part really hasn't changed. His hard DP got buffed as well too, so you have a little bit more frame advantage. So I noticed that some Ryu players now, instead of converting into the medium Tatsu, they're actually doing the hard DP now as a combo ender, because the Oki is still pretty good. So here's what I think, right? This is my opinion on this. There is more information and more tech out for Ryu than ever before, and the reason why is because we started seeing Ryu in major tournaments, and in major tournaments he started getting major exposure, and there was these character specialists who were really showing him off. and showing the things that he can do, especially in Burnout. Because there's so much information out there about Ryu now, people are starting to really pick up Ryu and, you know, do the great things that he's already been doing, but kind of expanding on it as well too. We're seeing all those players like in the major scene now, and they're showing off all this tech. We're learning from them, and then we're expanding it, and we're going, and a lot of people are learning it, and they're like, damn, wait a minute, Ryu's kind of always been like that. I think people are just honestly just getting better and learning how to use Ryu to his full potential, and the buffs do help. I don't think the buffs are carrying Ryu. I think it's the tech and the community that's actually really carrying Ryu because we're learning all these new strategies now. I don't feel the difference between the matchups. It's more about, oh, I have all this knowledge now that I could use, and I feel like I'm doing better because I'm taking bits and pieces of strategies from different players because it's so accessible now, and it's so there's so many videos and clips of it and people sharing tech. Like, I'm just like building my knowledge base, and you guys know that in fighting games, knowledge is everything. Yeah, like good technically, but if I don't know the matchup, or if I don't know the frame data or something like that, if I don't know how to fight something, I'm gonna lose. So I think it's the high level players that are carrying Ryu and that are kind of taking him to the next step, and then we're learning off of them. So that's my opinion on that. But yeah, I think Ryu's in a really good spot. I don't think he's better than Akuma, in my opinion. I think he's in between or better than Ken, but I still think Akuma is up there. And the reason why is that Akuma just has more utility. He has more ways to get around certain setups, or I guess matches and stuff like that. Ryu is kind of still straightforward. You have to play up close, you have to find your opening and make the most of it. And I think now that we're watching high level Ryu players make the most out of the openings, and we're taking that tech and expanding on it, that's how we're able to win more with Ryu. So that's just my take. It could be a hot take, you know what I'm saying? It could be a hot take. I'm not saying that Ryu isn't a good character. I think he's really fucking good right now. I think he's the best that he's ever been. Do I still think that there's another Shoto character that's better? Yes, I still think that's Akuma. You know, I think Akuma excels in a lot more matchups than Ryu. You know, and Ryu is still pretty honest. He still has to find his opening, but he just has a lot more ways to optimize his openings and get the most out of it now. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, and if you guys like this type of content, hit the subscribe button, join the Discord, watch the streams on Twitch and YouTube and all that good stuff. Thanks.